I was asked to come along today to speak about the wake-up calls through a hacker's eyes. I'm an ethical hacker, and I can't even talk about what we're doing currently, let alone what's coming. So I'm just going to give you some opinions for the next 15 minutes about why it's not working. So first little intro. It's my first time here in Sweden. Probably everyone in this room doesn't even know me. So I'm going to do a quick introduction. I'm from Redacted Firm. It's a cybersecurity consultancy based in the UK, and we do physical, digital, and the human natures of cybersecurity. So my name is FC. I'm the head of ethical hacking there. Who am I? Well, I co-founded the company. I've been a senior pen tester for many years. I've been head of social engineering and physical assessments, and I've also been the head of cyber research for a major defense firm. So I've got a little bit of background, but you guys probably want to know a little bit more about me. So who am I? I'm one of these, an ethical one, though, not one of the dodgy kinds. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these. I'm an old school one of these. I've been doing it since I was a little kid until these guys did this. Anyway, charges were dropped, and I got my freedom, and I went off to work for these guys, and these guys. Often going dressed like this. On Fridays, we dress down. But nowadays, I just go to work dressed like this. When I'm not doing this, you'll find me doing speaking events like this, talking about stuff. Some people write books about me, I don't know why, interviews, etc. When I'm not doing that, I love doing this. I love doing this. And I really love doing this as a hobby, which is really handy when these people do that. So now you know a bit about me. So wake-up calls, what are they? First of all, we need to define what a wake-up call is. And I Googled a little bit, as everyone does when they don't know what the hell it is. And it came up with this. Yeah, it's an event that highlights a concerning situation that prompts the action to fix it. Well, okay, where are we then? So the current state of the nation is, these are the top big 4 threats that we've seen recently. Yeah, so you got WannaCry at the top, which Kim has talked about a little bit. I'm going to touch on a little bit after this. Petya and NotPetya, again, not quite as big as WannaCry, but still quite bad, like 300 million here or there. The STA, well, you guys probably know about that probably more than I do. They kind of leaked everyone's data. And then the US, as always, went, hold my beer, and did Equifax, and did like 15 times the amount of data breach. So that's where we are. We're seeing these massive attacks all the time. And is it really working? Well, let's have a look at WannaCry. What was it? It was a small worm based on a piece of malware, based on some leaked code, and it did a lot of damage. And it was global. It went everywhere. Was it opportunistic scumbags? Are we looking at someone that took a 0-day and then manipulated it to make a bit of money? Well, they didn't really make a lot of money. Yeah. Most people here are probably earning more money than they got from that, and they didn't do very well. So maybe it was Bitcoin manipulation, which a lot of people are going, yeah, okay, that's cool. We'll screw around with some stuff, and we'll drive up the price of Bitcoin, and everyone makes loads of money. That's great. That doesn't sit well with me. The timeline of everything doesn't quite seem right. So how was it stopped? It was found, Marcus Hutchins, he found a kill switch, which is basically a really intricate sandbox detection mechanism. It wasn't that sophisticated. It was, can I reach this website? If I can, I'm not in a sandbox. If I can't, I'm in a sandbox, and I'm just going to shut my code down. So by registering the domain, it always thinks it's in a sandbox. But again, it's not very sophisticated. It's not what we see when we create nation-state level attacks. So I think there's something else going on. If I was a nation-state, I'm not saying it's the US, but if I was a nation-state and I'd found a vulnerability like they were using, and then someone leaks another vulnerability that has exactly the same vector that I'm using, the first thing I want to do is go back into those machines that I've infected and burn everything. So maybe someone created WannaCry to burn down the evidence that was already there. But that's just how I think, anyway. What about Equifax? Well, Equifax, it was patch all the things, because they didn't. It was Apache Struts, was out of date for 3 months, which seems quite a lot. How many people here Patch quicker than 3 months. That's quite a fair few. Doing well, doing well. Yeah, they leaked a hell of a lot of data. They also had admin as their passwords on their database, but oh well. So, why are we not secure yet? So we've had more wake-up calls than ever. We're getting a major breaches every 6 months. We're getting more 0 days per month released now than ever. I mean, I myself find like 2 or 3 a week. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. We've got bug bounties everywhere. Everyone's sort of doing these, like, oh yeah, this is great. So we must be secure, right? Are we secure? Anyone think we're secure yet? We've had all these breaches, all these wake-up calls. Anyone even close to being secure yet? No. So why is it? So I'm going to do what I do best and give you the uncomfortable truth. This is what I think. It's really easy to sit up and take notice of something, but it's waking up and doing something about it that's really hard. So what I mean by that is awareness is through the roof. Everyone knows about cybersecurity. Go into the street in any country, everyone knows about WannaCry. Everyone knows about spear phishing attacks. Everyone knows about patching. But understanding what the problem is where people are falling down. They understand something. They know it's there, but they don't understand it. So for example, everyone knows about quantum physics. How many here know about quantum physics? Like, understand it? Put your hand up. You've all heard of it, though, right? Yeah? What about black holes? Everyone's heard of those? Anyone know how it works? No. It's the same in IT security. We understand there's a problem, and we know it's there, but we can't be bothered to work out why it's a problem. So why does ransomware feature heavily? It's the difference between this and this. They're kind of the same thing. They're both ninjas, right? But you've got the decent attacker on one side and the ransomware on the other. Yeah? Who's going to notice this guy when this guy walks in the room? Yeah? No one. So ransomware is really obvious, and it raises the awareness of everyone. Because it's really easy to sell a paper if you're showing screenshots like this than you are of a Metasploit shell. Nobody wants to look at this. Everyone wants to see like the ATMs or the planes boarding passes like being encrypted. The press are really easily distracted by shiny stuff. So are the public, and they see this and they go, "Oh my God, WannaCry! It's like the biggest thing ever." It's like, no, patching is. But nobody cares about patching. And the trouble is, companies nowadays, they look at the hack du jour. Whatever's in the news is the biggest thing. That's what they need to focus on, rather than focusing on the actual infrastructure or the actual policies and processes around securing their company. So I'm going to tell you a little story about one of my jobs. I was on site when Eternal Blue made it public, and we started seeing attacks coming in. It was with a new client, and I was scanning through their network, and I was like, oh, I found a couple of machines. 2 machines on your thousands of machines. I found 2 that are vulnerable to this Eternal Blue. My God, table flip. Oh, like they literally ran out the room and pulled the plugs out of these machines and brought them back into the IT room to patch them. Now, what do you think they did when I said, oh, you've got 127 anonymous FTP servers lying around your network. You've got CCTV cameras that are unencrypted and unpassworded so that you can just go in and log in, do whatever. I can hit your finance department from here, and we've got a ton of unpatched stuff. What do you think they did with them? Nothing. They just waited for the report in 30 days. Because that wasn't what their focus was. What do you think was more likely to happen? Someone popping 2 boxes with Eternal Blue, or someone gaining access via all these other thousands of endpoints that they had? Anyone guess what they did with those ones? Anyone? Nothing. They did nothing with those, because that wasn't what they were focused on. It wasn't the shiny new thing that they all knew about and that the board of directors were going, oh my God, I've seen this in the news. My kids are talking about it. Because no one cares. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, that's great, right? So you've just completely destroyed all this thing about what wake-up calls, etc. What should we be doing? Like, FC, tell me, what are we doing wrong? That's not me, by the way. So what it should be doing? Segregation. This is the key thing that I always tell people to do. If you have a network, segregate it. And I don't mean pretend that you've segregated it. I don't mean, you've actually done it. How many people here have a segregated network? Genuine segregated network? You probably don't. What you have is two networks with some firewalls in between, and who checks their firewall rules regularly? Because I bet you someone has gone, oh, I can't get this thing working. I need a firewall rule opened here. And then it stays there for 6 months. And then after 6 months, the IT team changes. Then nobody knows what that rule's there for. And so it just stays there. And so you can get across it. Even air-gap networks, I've seen people have actual air-gap networks in military systems, and then people come in and plug their phones in to charge them. It's like you're no longer doing it properly. You have to have a truly segregated network. And as a partner of mine, she said, often human problems are actually technical. If a phishing email ruins your network, you've got bigger problems than users clicking a link. And that's true. If someone gets an email in, a phishing email, they will click it. If you do phishing-style attacks on your company, you'll find that a third of the people will click the link, no matter what. Human psychology says that people will be curious. I've known people click on links just because they want to see what happened. And you can't get around that. No matter how much training you give them, people will click on links. And so you have to be ready for that. You will get popped. How many people here think their network hasn't been attacked? No one. Great. How many people think that a hacker is already into your system? Yeah, you're in the minority. Everyone will have someone in their system, almost certainly, whether it's an insider or outsider. But segregation is really important, because once an attacker or a malware-infected worm is inside your network, if it can't spread out of it, you've contained it. You've contained that little bit. So we've seen with WannaCry, when that hit, it infected so much stuff that if it had been segregated off, we wouldn't have seen nearly as much damage. Bug bounties. I have a bit of a bug about bug bounties, no pun intended. This is a great quote from the DoD. We've saved $1 million running a bug bounty program compared to doing third-party pen tests. Brilliant. Well, £1 million only equates to 4 people for a year, so you haven't got a really big pen test team anyway. But bug bounties are part of a solution. They're not a replacement for a genuine pen test. Because what you do is you go, oh, right, we're running a bug bounty on this website. And what you'll have is 600 kids going, oh, wow, I can make a bit of money out of this. And they'll all hit the same part. They won't do a full contained job. So you can't use it as a replacement for a pen test. Use it as an addition to a pen test. And you go, oh, we've seen a lot of people hitting this, so maybe we need to start looking at how it's all put together and how the back end works. Because pen testers are a lot more skilled than kids in rooms. Even a lot of pen testers will do bug bounties. I've got some very good mates that do a lot of it just on the side. It's all right. But yeah, it's no replacement for a pen test. It really isn't. So make sure you keep getting regular pen tests and checking network segregation. Patch things. This is very, very important. Yeah. How many people don't patch because they don't want to break something? How many people are like, oh, I'd love to patch, but the board says we can't take this down because it's going to break things, we're going to lose money, blah, blah, blah. Couple of people. You need to patch quickly. Break shit all the time. Yeah? If you're not breaking stuff, you're not getting better. I would rather break everything and take down an entire network for a day, reverting it back, than being vulnerable for 6 months whilst we go through UIT testing. It's very important that you patch as quickly as possible. And backups. I couldn't find anything really to put in there. I couldn't find a really funny picture. So I've just left this. Something Shakespearean about death and inevitable doom. You will get popped at some point. Yeah? Whether or not it's today, you're probably already getting messages today. Something will happen, and it will screw up your day. So you need to know how you're going to gain back that data. Don't do as one client of mine did, where their entire database just got deleted in an attack. And they're like, oh, great, we've got backups. And you could see the IT team's face draining, where they're like, it's a problem with the backups we've been trying to fix for like 6 weeks. But, well, what about the tape backups that are offsite? Well, yeah, they're gone as well. So you don't have to just put backups in place, you have to practice it. There's a couple of companies now that are starting to do chaos monkeys. I don't know if anyone's heard that term over here. And it's basically someone inside your team that is a chaos monkey, and basically they will do their best to screw up your life. So they'll go in and they'll delete your database. And then you'll be like, okay, right, how do we recover from this? And it's a fantastic way of getting through that iterative process so that it becomes just the daily thing, so that when your database goes down or when some web server gets popped, you just go, right, okay, revert that, and we're back online. It's getting back up on your feet quickly enough that's the key thing. So I want to end on something a little bit more positive, which is I want you guys to take on board this message, yeah? And I've kind of screwed around with the JFK speech a little bit. But it's this. We choose to make cyberspace more secure in this decade and secure the Internet of Things, not because that is easy, but because it is hard. Because these goals will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept and one that we are unwilling to postpone. And we will win it. But you guys need to help. We can't do this. You can't just have one company that's secure. Everyone has to up their game. As Kim said, the attackers are already upping their game through stolen tools. We need to up the defense as well. So, any final questions before I leave the stage? One question. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yep. Virtual patching is a... Sorry, I didn't get the last one. Yeah, it's a hard one. That covers just like a tiny section. Yeah, it's good. Everything that helps it along is helpful. And I know there are a lot of vendors here today, and your stuff's probably really good, but it won't cover everything. It's not going to cover every single patch of every single thing. We just need to up our game on how we patch things. So stuff like the virtual patching is really good, but it doesn't quite help the full picture. You still need to have those policies and procedures in place for doing actual genuine patching of everything. Like, how many people patch their firewalls? No one, because you can never take it down. So it's helpful, but it's not quite the full picture. We just need to keep going. Any other questions? No? Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so if they're using stolen tools, everyone knows about those stolen tools. Everyone knows about the shadow broker stuff. Everyone knows about Vault 7. So you should be, if a patch is available, you should be implementing that. Most people are striving. They're going, oh my God, nation state, they're going to attack us. It doesn't matter how big the company is, they're going to attack us. You know, we're scared. Don't worry about that. Lower the bar. Yeah, you're all shit already. Like, just be less shit. Yeah, yeah. There's a brilliant little joke about two guys walking in the woods, and suddenly a massive bear comes out, and it's like, it's going to eat them. So one guy takes off his rucksack and he starts running, and the other guy's like, what are you doing? You're not going to outrun the bear. And he's like, I don't have to. I just have to outrun you. So just be better than the guy next to you. just if your security is slightly better, it's like your house. If your house has got alarms and cameras on it, attackers aren't going to come near you. They're going to go for the weaker person. Don't be the weaker person. Just be slightly better than everyone else. And you just need to up your patching, up your levels of security, up your segregation. If someone gets in and they can only see like 3 computers because it's in like a DMZ and it's all segregated off, they're going to go elsewhere because it's not interesting. You'll get the odd hacker that'll be like, oh, They're obviously hiding something, they're doing something good, there must be something good there. If someone's really determined, they're going to get in, no matter what. If it's someone like me, I'll just break into the building and get in. Because I can guarantee you banks spend millions and millions on like really good defenses, cyber sort of side. You can literally walk into a bank and just steal all the gold. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I hope that answers the question. Anyone else? No? Then I think I shall call that that.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.